This is the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon Unlimited, otherwise known to you and me as the most off-road focused Jeep that you can buy in South Africa today. This vehicle is so off-road focused that it stands toe-to-toe against the likes of the Ineos Grenadier, the Land Cruiser Prado, and even the Land Rover Defender. As it sits, it costs just under 1,300,000 rands. Underneath the bonnet, you find a 2-liter inline-6 turbo petrol engine that produces 200 kilowatts and 400 newton meters of torque. All of this is sent to all four wheels permanently via the 8-speed automatic gearbox. And in this video review, we're going to have an in-depth look at the Rubicon Wrangler. Inside and out, we're going to have a look at some of the amazing additions that have made this vehicle most suitable to negotiate the beaten track, as well as what has been incorporated as far as new technology is concerned for this Jeep. And so without further ado, we're going to unlock this bad boy and have a look inside and out. One of the most interesting design elements about the Jeep Wrangler in general is these flat wheel arches with reference to the tires that it's got. Now, almost every Jeep Wrangler that you get out there has got these humongous off-road tires. In this case, I'm talking about these BF Goodrich tires that wrap these 17-inch twin-spoke rims. Now, these twin-spoke rims on the center cap feature an old Willys Jeep as the logo. Now, on top of these wheels sits this flat wheel arch, which, as you can see, extends by quite a significant margin from the vehicle's main body. And this is actually for a very good reasons. Now, legislation in South Africa, and I would think in other countries as well, requires that every tire in a vehicle needs to be covered by a wheel arch, such that should the tire be in danger or should it come into contact with any object or human, it does not directly touch that human or that object, but rather the wheel arch will protect contact between a moving tire and an object or a human. So basically, these flat wheel arches are there to cover and to protect objects from being run over by these wheels. But Jeep have actually done something very nice with these flat wheel arches. So in addition to just fitting them, they've also put in these daytime running lights as well as indicators. So they do serve two purposes. They house the vehicle's indicator, daytime running lights, and they also protect these huge, humongous BF Goodrich tires. Although the Wrangler does feature a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder engine, it does, however, feature a humongous bonnet. This is actually the same bonnet that you find in the US spec V8 Jeep Wrangler. However, here there is obviously a bit of omissions. For example, you do not have that bonnet scoop which lets in a lot of air because you don't need it in a 2-liter version Jeep. Nonetheless, this bonnet lid looks quite nice because it's got this raised center and it's got these hooks here at the front, these two black hooks at the front. Interestingly enough, these two black hooks were actually originally found in the Humvee, the military vehicle. The idea behind these two hooks is that if the vehicle gets completely stuck and needs to be airlifted using a Chinook helicopter, it would be easier to just hook these two hooks up and get the vehicle off the ground. I'm not sure if that trick would work with the Wrangler, but they do feel quite solid when I touch them and I attempt to move them a bit. They do feel quite solid and they add for a very nice addition in the vehicle. Now, other features in the Wrangler that make it quite a nice, unique and quirky vehicle are these exposed hinges at the door here. Now, every opening panel has got an external hinge in the Jeep Wrangler, be it the bonnet or the side doors. All of them have got these exposed hinges which are colored to match with the vehicle's entire paint job. And you also have got quite a number of exposed nuts and bolts which really make for a good aesthetic, especially as far as the design of this vehicle is concerned. The fascia of the Jeep Wrangler, it looks very interesting. So what they've done essentially here is that they've taken the old style design and they've made it almost new, in the sense that it's still got the same features as the old Jeep Wrangler, but it looks very slick and angular in design. The one thing that I absolutely enjoy about the Jeep Wrangler is the fact that all of the levers and the buttons that have been done away with, even in off-road modern vehicles, have been included in the Jeep Wrangler. For example, on the left here, you've got this transfer case lever, which is essentially what you use to get the vehicle off-road. road. Now it's got multitude of features including high range as well as low range. High range means that you've got access to all of the vehicle's 8 gears on the road. Low range means that you are using the transfer case to crawl over rocks as well as steep areas, mountains and hills. Now it's all activated and deactivated by the use of this transfer case lever right here. In modern vehicles, modern off-road vehicles, you would typically find a toggle, maybe a switch or a knob, but however Jeep has retained the old school lever, which is quite a very nice thing. And also I like the fact that they've actually retained this physical parking brake right here. Again, many vehicles you'll find an electronic parking brake, however Jeep has actually elected to retain this manual lever. Now at the right here you have got this gear lever, which is obviously attached to the 8-speed automatic transmission. At the top of this you will find the old school Willys Jeep, which is actually being used as the vehicle's logo. So it is quite nice. It's a very basic automatic lever. It's got park, reverse, neutral, drive, and it's also got the manual features right here. And then of course behind the lever itself you've got a dual mark holder system. Now one of the most interesting parts is what is happening right here. Now we're going to start over here. Now at the left here in red you've got the vehicle's diff controls. Now the vehicle in total has got 2 locking diffs. It's got a rear diff and it's got the front diff. If you want to activate the front and rear diff, you just toggle this switch upwards. If you want to activate only the rear diff, you just toggle it downwards. You've got sway bar control, you've got off-road plus, which allows you access to an array of other features that might be necessary when off-roading. Now this being a Jeep, you also have got these 4 auxiliary buttons. Now it is a known thing, it is a known fact that if you own or drive a Jeep Wrangler, at some point you will want to add auxiliary lights or winches, which will need to be controlled by these auxiliary buttons. So that's why you've got these 4 auxiliary buttons, so that when you do add a winch or an external light, you can just hook it up to one of these buttons and control it. Media center of the Jeep, you've got these 3 ports, USB-C, a USB-A and an auxiliary button. Very nice addition. It's quite simple, it's quite neat. Now at the center here you have got these window controls. Now because this vehicle's doors can be detached completely and put aside, Jeep have elected to keep the window controls at the center, although I'm not sure if you have removed the doors if you will need to have window switches, but nonetheless I also like the fact that Jeep have retained the cigarette lighter in their vehicles. Many modern vehicles that I've actually seen and reviewed do not feature this any longer, so it's a very much welcome addition. And initially I thought that this, according to regulations, was no longer allowed in vehicles. Clearly it's allowed because the Jeep Wrangler does have it. Atop this panel right here you find the vehicle's climate control system. Now it's a dual zone climate control system, quite a comprehensive setup I must say. You've got the temperature controls for both the passenger and the driver. This is the fan speed control. You've got a multitude of controls including your heated steering wheel, your heated and your cooled seats. This is your rear defrost, front defrost, that's your mode button, the seat heating and cooling for the driver. You also have got a recycling feature, which is actually inside of a small Jeep. That's your aircon right there, that's your volume button, also a button to turn on and off this system right here. I'm just going to put it on. And then you also have got this tune and scroll button right here. That is the vehicle's cruise control system. That's your hazard light, that is your auto button for the climate control system. Now when you put the screen on, it shows you that Jeep logo, and as you cycle through it you find that you've got different settings like media, comfort. Now comfort allows you access to the vehicle's climate control system. Navigation allows you obviously to the navigation system, which you can actually use to navigate to different places. Phone, now this vehicle does support Apple as well as Android Auto connectivity. Now the vehicle itself, now remember this vehicle is an off-road vehicle, therefore you do need a couple of cameras. So you've got forward-facing camera, you've got a rear view camera. Now if I activate the forward-facing camera, this is what it shows me. This is the front view, or of the vehicle. This is the backward facing camera, so that is what is currently behind the vehicle. So it's quite a simple system like that. And then if I hit the apps tab, you'll find a series of apps, a device manager, off-road pages. Remember, this is an off-road vehicle, therefore it is important to have certain tutorials, especially if you're not familiar with how the vehicle operates. So that is essentially what the screen does. There's more to this screen, of course. However, these are the basic functions that I want to show you at this point in time. Now, if I just swivel over and show you the driver's panel. Now this is a traditional analog speedometer on the right here, and then you've got a tachometer on the left here, and in the center you've got that display screen, a digital screen that gives you several readouts, including the status of the vehicle, the gear you are in, your mileage, your fuel levels, all of that stuff. When you're off-roading, it does also tell you different other things as well, like altitude, the angle of inclination, and all of those kinds of things you will find in this screen displayed here as well. And then atop all of this, it's pretty much the vehicle's sound system. That's the speaker system. It's a very short dashboard. This doesn't extend very like long. It's not a very long dashboard, it's quite a short one, and it's finished in this beautiful like hard plastic and leather, stitched in this contrasting red stitching. You've got that grip handle right there. Remember, this is an off-road vehicle, so you need as many grip handles as you can possibly get. Steering wheel itself is quite a nice steering wheel, 3-spoke. It's all finished in leather, and it's stitched by that red contrast stitching all around, and you have got that black contrast as well. In here you've got the chrome for the Jeep logo, as well as the border here in the airbag cover as well. On the left of the steering wheel you've got your cell phone controls, and on the right you've got your cruise control buttons, and this is a basic stock for the lights as well as the indicators. And on the right here you've got the wiper stock, as well as the washers, the jet washers for the lights as well as the windscreen. The lifestyle element of the Jeep Wrangler is what you begin to feel as soon as you climb in the back of this vehicle, because, for example, now in this particular Jeep, the top has been taken off, right? And sitting here, I've got a lot of air and light coming in for obvious reasons. However, I also have got a lot of space sitting back here. I also have got access to almost the same features that you find at the front, because I've got access to 12-volt power outlet. I can charge my phone, raise and lower the windows. I also have got these 2 air vents right here, seat covers, including these elastic seat pockets right here. Now, if I fold down the middle seat, I have an armrest which also comes with 2 mug holders. Otherwise, if I've got a third occupant here, I can just fold that away and allow them to sit. Sitting back here, I've got quite a bit of space. There's 2 overhead speakers right here, so I can be able to hear the music quite nicely. Remember, if you do decide to actually get rid of all the vehicle's doors and drive the vehicle without any doors, you can actually still have access to all of the music and all the other things by means of these overhead speakers right here. And I mean, this being a Rubicon, again, it's of the highest quality material, these seats. It's again the same leather that you'll find at the front, stitched in this contrasting red and finished in the nicest finish ever possible. Now, also for the middle occupant, you do have quite a decent amount of space. Even for the middle occupant, the drive shaft hump in this vehicle is quite minimal, because this vehicle is very high. Like, it's a very highly raised vehicle. Therefore, the advantage of that is when you sit here, you don't actually get as much of drive shaft hump as you do in lower vehicles. And again, sitting here, I do have quite a lot of space to wiggle about, to move about. It's quite a nice space, really, to be. The rear design of the Jeep Wrangler is what gets me the most, because it's got this back wheel over here that sits on the vehicle's tailgate, and you also have got these lights here, these LED lights, and that red tow hook right there for if you actually need towing in this vehicle. You can actually open this door by just pulling that lever right there. As you can see, it's a barnyard style gate, and You've got quite a spacious boot, I must say, to store all of your basic things that you might need to store. There's actually an Alpine subwoofer in there for the music sound system. You also have got 6 isofix anchorage points there, and you have got a 12-volt power outlet right there. Now, if I lift this up, I find a couple of implements which can be used to put the roof on and on, to at least aid in screwing and bolting the roof on and off. It's quite a heavy bun door, this because of this wheel right here. Remember, full-size spare tire, also BF Goodrich, also off-road grade level, and that is of course the rear view camera, and then that is the Jeep logo ring, and then you also have got that brake light right there for obvious reasons, and you also have got that rear park distance control, which Jeep have not done away with, and you also have that rear bumper right there, quite prominent. Now, this vehicle is quite logoed. This is something I didn't tell you about. This vehicle is heavily Jeep logoed. You have got Jeep logos all around the vehicle, either in wording or in Little Willie's Jeep logos. This vehicle, Jeep have shown extreme pride in their brand using the Rubicon spec Jeep, because every corner in this vehicle you find either the Jeep lettering or the logo ring of the Willie's Jeep in this vehicle. So it's quite a nice one to take pride in its brand. So it's quite a nice Jeep to look at this. Jeep as a brand has always been synonymous with the concept of roadability, with ruggedness and with toughness, and this Rubicon Wrangler is absolutely no different. Although it's a new vehicle both in and out, it has retained some of those features that have always made these vehicles one of the best in the market, and that is what has made it one of the nicest vehicles to actually own, especially for off-road use. Unfortunately, my time with the Rubicon is up, and I do hope that you guys have enjoyed this review as much as I've enjoyed filming it for you. But remember, there is a ton more content of this nature to come, and if you have liked this, please give it a thumbs up and a comment below and let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. Take care.